So my wonderful wildflowers are just doing bombing. Like, they are exploding with happiness. I can just barely see under there that, yeah, they're not growing quite in that shadow there. And that's it. And everything else has just boomed into beautifulness. And I've got these really pretty little white flowers. And I've got this orange one that's gonna come up any day, probably today actually. And then I have like these beautiful purple blue flowers. They're so pretty. Oh, it's so much fun. I enjoy this wildflower blossoming. It's been great to see which ones will actually manage to grow and like sprout and look beautiful, and the foliage is amazing. So I have a pot of flowers, and then I have everything else. This is the bean pots. I've decided that since I don't know which kind of bean plant I have, I should probably prepare in case they're vines. I looked it up, and black beans and Romano beans both have pole and bush varieties. So I don't know which ones I have, and since I'm growing from the store, I'm kind of guessing. So I've got these old tomato cages, and this is what I'm going to use them for. If they are pole varieties. If they turn out to be bush varieties, then at least they'll be protected from the wind and stuff like that, so they'll be okay. They're fine, and if it gets too heavy, then I'll switch them to another pot if I really have to. My rhubarbs are sitting there doing nothing. Hopefully next year I have rhubarbs in these pots. My chickweed is freaking going mad to the point I think it's actually, yeah, it's starting to grow outside of the pot. It's like drifting off into places, which is cool. I don't care. I am purposely growing this. Wow, the airplanes today. Oh, and just look, I had to add some sticks, and I'll probably have to space these out a little because they're gonna start blocking each other soon here. But I figured I'd let them get a little bit of support with a stick here, since they do grow better with trellis supports, and when they start to have fruit, apparently they get really heavy and they just, their stems can't do it. I've got weird bugs. I'm not sure if they're good or bad. I'm always worried because I don't really know what I'm doing, so, you know, I have to constantly look up Google Lens. Sometimes I have to, like, just try to figure things out. Sometimes it's just a bunch of guesswork. These are my watermelon seeds, which are actually doing okay, so sweet. Who knows if I'll actually get them to, like, grow, because I didn't plant them early enough. And these are tomatoes. And in a couple of days, I'll be able to switch them from here to support on the outside. So I'll make little cute trellises like I did for the one that's up here. And I will get them some support, and then I'll let them grow. This tomato is finally doing really well. He's actually outgrown his little miniature support here, so I'm going to have to make him a better one, but that's okay. That's a good thing. My herbs are iffy. Like, they're alive, but maybe not the greatest. My rosemary's fine. My rosemary's like, yeah! Down here we've got cabbage. I'm actually trying to get cabbage to come out of this one. This one is zucchini. This one's more black beans. This one's may or may not. They're doing really well, but they'll need a bigger pot soon. And this is spaghetti squash, and it's the only one. So is that one, but this is the only one that's leafed so far. So there's that. And this monstrosity is my potatoes, which is doing really well. And so far, so good. Like, I've pulled a couple of lamb's breath weeds out of here, and I've actually been experimenting with them by leaving them over in the pot, because I have a feeling that there are certain bugs that go for the kinds of weeds that grow around your plants. So it would be best to have those weeds elsewhere in order to hopefully keep those bugs away from the plants you're trying to grow. I don't know what eats land breath. I'm not sure if it's even a thing, but I mean, and a weed experiment in a pot is not going to kill me. Neither is my chickpeas. Like, this is my other set of chickpeas, and boy, they are just doing their thing. They are so cool. I'm keeping this one trellised because it's fun. This one hasn't, like, it hasn't been sprouting as big, so I wasn't going to trellis it. Might have to add some strings to this so that if it gets a little bit more trellisy, and can also grow up with this one. I think what I'll do is just get some strings and some small sticks and tie them kind of sideways and see if that does it, hopefully. The peas in the tire experiment is going marvelously. And my pumpkins, look! Oh, I'm so proud. Like, I can't believe how big these are getting. I find the little yellow ones disturbing, but I mean, supposedly that's normal. My dill, which is great. And of course my lettuce is still not doing anything. And this is the squash, which I finally separated from the pumpkin. So there shouldn't be any cross-pollination. And when I move, of course, I'll move it and keep them separate. And they're doing well. I'm so proud. You've no idea.